I don't want to Piers, I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching this
What are you talking about?
And so if you will allow me, please
What
please
are you
stop
talking about?
Me, okay? Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me
I think you're
answer
being
the
a complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
Amazing, spectacular television. I think you're being a complete dick, if I'm honest with you. Wonderful stuff. I'm sorry, Don. What did you expect? This is, after all, Piers Morgan uncensored. He's off the leash.
You can say what you like about me, I don't care.
So Don Lemon appeared on Piers Morgan's show last night, and I knew I could not afford to miss two of my favourite hacks in the whole world, thrashing it out, going back and forth at one another. I really enjoy watching their two careers going completely opposite directions post CNN sacking. You see Piers Morgan, as much as he is and any way the wind blows hack, as I say, he does seem to have a bit of the Midas touch. You know, the heavens smile on him, and he he seems to make the right moves at the right time, and he's killing it on YouTube. He's getting millions and millions of views, and he's still very, very relevant, as people say. Whereas Don Lemon, I mean, if things get any worse, he's going to have to go back on the game. All right. He's wandering around the streets of Manhattan with a little clip-on mic in his hand like a 15-year-old TikToker.
Do you know Charlie Kirk? Yeah, I do.
You're nearly 60 years old, Don.
That was classless. Do better.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
So there is, this is sort of two different universes, two different worlds that we live in here in America. And I'm generalizing because there are some folks, there's some in every bunch. There's some who are black folks who are like, yeah, I loved him or whatever. Okay, fine. But those are few and far between. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, those dissenting blacks, Don? Those Anyway, so look at him there with his little Hot Topics thing.
Tonight's Hot Topic. Hot Topic.
Hot Topics. There's accidental partridge all over the show today. How did Steve Coogan, 30 years ago, manage to nail down so accurately the archetype of the presenter, radio DJ whose career is petering out? They still do it today. They're still the same hack trying to cling on to relevance. It's amazing.
And so for the most part, people don't understand, like, what is this, all of this flags and half staff for, when most people had no idea who Charlie Kirk was, by the way. You know that, right?
Nobody even knew who Charlie Kirk was. You know that, right? Okay. Can somebody please take Auntie Don back to the nursing home? Look, just because you are a 60-year-old millionaire living in Manhattan and you're wildly out of touch with everything doesn't mean everyone else is, all right? You don't know the score, all right, Don? Just because you don't know shit about anything doesn't mean everyone else is in the same boat.
I meet a lot of people out there, and you see my lives, they're like, I didn't really know him. I just heard about him when this happened, because it was mostly for like younger people who are really politically activated, like college people who are, just wanted to, college people like to fight on campus.
Oh, yeah. We know. Yeah, you know the score, Don. So I'm just showing you these clips, by the way, because this is what led up to him going on the Piers Morgan show. He's been saying a lot about Charlie Kirk, and you're going to see how he's projecting about everything, right? He talks about how everyone's using his name for clicks. No one really knows what's going on. They don't know who Charlie Kirk is. It's all him, right? It's all his view of the world is reality, right? He cannot put himself in anybody else's shoes. Nobody could actually possibly know more than him or see the world in a different way. Everyone's just lying, It's just This is what happens when you're on TV for too long, I think.
And when I went to school at LSU, we had something very similar, and it was called Free Speech Alley. I think Free Speech Alley is still there.
Free Speech Alley, eh? And rumor has it they called Don Lemon's dorm Free Peach Alley. Okay.
Where you could go to Free Speech Alley and you could say whatever you want. The thing is that you could then, and you would not get suspended or expelled or, disciplined for saying some shit. People just said whatever it is that they wanted at Free Speech Alley. Much of it was offensive, but I kind of liked Free Speech Alley.
Not as much as Free Peach Alley, I'll bet, eh, Don? There really anything did go. Oh, you can call me whatever you want. I won't tell the dean if you don't. Yep, that's what was going on at Free Peach Alley, you dirty little flirt.
But that's not the America that we're living in right now. We live in an America of cancel culture, and it is the cancel culture on the right now that is leading the charge.
Oh, one of Don Lemon's channel members has chimed in with a comment here. What does it say? That is so crazy how people didn't know him. A lovely profile picture of the cat there. Imagine being a member of Donald Lemon's YouTube channel. Imagine giving money to Don Lemon.
And the hypocrisy, I've been writing something about this. The hypocrisy on the right about free speech is, it's off the charts. Because think about it. If you actually believed in what Charlie Kirk said he believed in, didn't quite practice all the time, is free speech, then why are you out to cancel people who are using their First Amendment right of free speech to tell you how they feel about Charlie Kirk by using his own words?
Ooh, yeah, gotcha, right-wingers. I've really been wrestling with this dilemma in my head over the last few days. So much cognitive dissonance. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't give a shit. Look, I've always said, I've always been 100% consistent in my inconsistency. I'm a hypocrite. I do and say things that in the past I've condemned or whatever, and I'll condemn things that I've condoned. I just think that people all live with hypocrisy, We all do and say things that normally we might not agree with given the circumstances. I just think some people are motivated by good and some people are motivated by evil. And I really, I don't know what I think about this. Should Jimmy Kimmel get cancelled? Should these people who are making fun of Charlie Kirk lose their jobs? I really don't care. I'll tell you that. And I do care when people were getting cancelled for talking about COVID and stuff like that. That did bother me because I agreed with it. So yeah, maybe I'm not a free speech absolutist. It's like, I don't care. Look, I'm not baying for blood. I'm not asking for people to get cancelled. But when they do, I either care or I don't. Okay? Sam Hyde made some really good points about this the other day. I was watching his show. And he was saying, this doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good seeing left-wingers getting cancelled. Or rather, it doesn't feel good cancelling them. It's a bitch move, but it kind of feels like they've been doing bitch moves for too long now, And maybe, the right-wing conservatives, they've had enough. And they're like, well, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to do all the same things that you've been doing for years now. Sorry, it's your comeuppance. Now, I'm neither for it or against it. Like I say, I see Jimmy Kimmel get sacked. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Who cares? He's a twat. Do I believe in it? Am I going to advocate for it? No. Am I going to jump up and defend him? No. Sorry.
It doesn't make sense because Charlie Kirk didn't make sense. And so the response is irrational. So they're trying to, all these people are Nancy Mace and Megyn Kelly and all these people, they can't figure out how they want to respond. Is he a crazy loony left liberal? Is he some sort of incel? Is he a furry? Is he whatever? Like they're spinning, trying to, how do we make this make sense? You can't, because it doesn't make sense. Because this is a myth. You're trying to build a myth on a myth.
Another super fan has something to say. What's that? It baffles me, Don. What doesn't, Nini? Look, it's absolutely true that there are a lot of shit-stirring grifters on the right as well as on the left who are just looking for the latest talking point, and I question their motives. Of course I do. But the fact is, it was obvious right from the start, wasn't it? If you're being honest, it wasn't difficult to make it make sense, as Dan's saying here. Who was going to kill Charlie Kirk? It was obviously going to be some crazy left-wing person, and that's what happened. And then they found all the messages on the bullets, and then they found that he was basically in a relationship with a trans person. It's like that isn't to demonize or trying to put square pegs in round holes or whatever you're saying. That's just, it was obvious before we knew, and then when it was confirmed, you continued to gaslight us saying, oh no, there's no evidence. They're just saying it's trans people. No, it was just obvious it was going to be some left-wing lunatic, and it turns out it was some left-wing lunatic. Why is that so difficult to accept?
The things that came out of Charlie Kirk's mouth were much of it was hurtful, discriminatory, ignorant, and I'll stop there, to say the least.
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for there, Don, is the truth. Now, most people who were offended by anything Charlie Kirk said wasn't his sort of more ultra-conservative stuff. It wasn't his, even when he was sort of mocking and trolling people. I mean, he was online quite a bit, you know, he did lots of shows, lots of podcasts, lots of talks. There are a few clips where he is a bit mocking in tone. But mostly, I think people took offense to his statements of reality and biology that they just couldn't take, you know, and the stuff that he said about DEI and affirmative action and stuff like that really got under people's skin because it's the truth, you know. People have taken it out of context to make him look like he was saying that black women are stupid or something, which he wasn't. He was just talking about how DEI policies and affirmative action policies, whereby people get into universities or into institutions of some kind by virtue of the color of their skin, which is obviously racist, which is obviously for some reason, not obviously, for some reason detrimental to Oriental Asians. I don't know why. I just don't know, really, to be honest, what percentage of what people like Don Lemon say is caused by their low IQ. I mean, Don Lemon doesn't strike me as a particularly perspicacious, thoughtful individual. He's not the smartest. He doesn't come across as the smartest guy. I don't know what percentage of what he says is caused by that, or the fact that he is just a disingenuous hack trying to farm engagement, you know, from the army of retards that are paying for his debauched upkeep in his Manhattan penthouse with his husband. I don't know. I don't know, but basically, yeah, Charlie Kirk. It really isn't that deep, you know. It really wasn't the monster they're making him out to be. It really wasn't that difficult to see who might have killed him. A raving lunatic killed him. A raving left-wing lunatic. You know, there's no myth on a myth. What are you talking about?
If someone imagine if, I don't know, if any man on the left, who would it be? Who would a black person on the left went around, a black man on the left, or let's just say, I mean, you know, I don't know, some black man on the left. Or
what about a black man on the left?
went around saying, I'm going to pick my friend Michael Eric Dyson.
Do you mean this Michael Eric Dyson?
Jordan Peterson, right? This is what I'm saying to you. Why the rage, bruh? You're doing well, but you're a mean, mad white man, and you're going to get us right.
They went around saying white women do not have brain processing power and are stealing jobs from black men. The right would fucking lose their minds.
Yeah, probably from laughing. What are you talking about? People like Michael Eric Dyson say that kind of thing all the time. They say that white people don't deserve what they have, that they've got privilege. He spends his whole life race grifting, and people just think he's a twat. Nobody's going after him. You know what I mean? I don't feel he's in danger, thank God. He's free to talk his bollocks. We just laugh it off, you know? And just to reiterate, Charlie Kirk didn't say those things, and you're lying to everybody. He didn't say black women don't have the brain power that white women have. He said that the DEI hires don't. He was speaking very specifically about 3 women who admitted to having got into the positions they were in because of affirmative action policies. So literally, that's true, what he's saying there. Those specific women did not have the brain power that perhaps other candidates did. You know, they were allowed in, they were ushered in because of diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. You know, it's not talking about black women, it's talking about a specific given black woman.
Mark Lamont Hill, Roland, Michael Eric Dyson. Let's just say
he's naming black men.
Let's say these brothers, or Bakari Sellers, or someone like that. If they went around saying some shit like that, they would be canceled immediately. They would be fired. People would scrub them from their whatever business that they work for. Or if they said, when I get on a plane and I see a white pilot, I'm like, damn, we're going to, you know, I'm worried.
Those race grifters you just mentioned there have spent their entire careers, they built their careers on whining about slavery and demonizing white people, and nobody bats an eyelid, nobody cares. And please, can we stop with the black pilot thing, all right? Look, it's not that people are scared of black pilots, okay? They're just worried because there has been a lot of evidence, a lot of court cases over the last decade or so, where people are alleging that airline companies, who seem to be openly admitting that they're pushing for diversity, people have got legitimate concerns that perhaps, you know, airlines, air control tower operators and pilots should not be chosen based on the color of their skin, but how well they can organize planes or fly them, because it's kind of dangerous. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a legitimate concern again when airline companies are openly going, yes, we're the most diverse, and they're throwing CVs out from people who might be better at the job than others because they're not the right color. That's mental. Okay? And it's just a thing that people say. Charlie Kirk was being a bit hyperbolic. He's saying that when I get on a plane, if I see a black pilot, I feel worried. Does he have the qualifications? You know, nobody's really genuinely suggesting that they're hiring like some fucking garbage truck driver to fly the planes. We know that's not happening. All right, we're not stupid.
The thing that is so obvious about it, and I think this is so disgusting, is that you don't really care. You don't really care about Charlie Kirk. What you care is that this is a moment that you can use for clicks, to boost your podcast or your streaming show or your radio show.
Oh, yeah, God forbid, something that you'd never dream of course, Don. Yeah, let's not go down that free peach alley, Don, of accusing, you know, the pot calling the kettle black much. All of my videos have been loosely connected to Charlie Kirk since his death. It's the only thing anyone's talking about, all right? And with good reason. Oh, God knows I want to get back to more fun and interesting things.
The salacious personal lives of minor celebrities.
Or your television show or your news show or your MAGA bona fides with the MAGA group or your political stripes, that you can improve it, or you can have a moment where you're crying in front of the cameras. You gather all the reporters at the Capitol and you go, and it's your fault, and it's your fault, and it's the left, and whatever.
Yes, that's right.
If you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me on many times, and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in the panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
so,
you and I haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you. Yeah. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right.
And I said the same thing to your bookers.
There's only one of you.
And so when I asked you, right. Okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover? Yeah. Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed. But let me answer your question.
Hang on one second. Oh, Don, hang on 1 second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it, fine. Sorry. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous. I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching this
What are you talking about?
And so if you will let me, if you will allow me, please
what are you
stop
talking about?
Me, okay? Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me?
I think you're being a complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or respectful. I don't like the ad hominem attacks.
I could respond in kind,
you can say what you like about me. I don't care.
I think that I am.
Piers Morgan, classless. I just appeared on the Piers Morgan show, or taped it, and it was obvious that he was looking for a clickbait. It was a clickbaity interview, that he wanted a moment on social media and in the trades that, oh my gosh, look, I got Don Lemon. In the process, though, I think that you will see that he embarrassed himself. Piers, that was classless. Do better.
Absolutely classless, Piers. Not only were you using clickbait, and we all know Don Lemon would never sink that low. Unless he was in Free Peach Alley, am I right? Okay, that's enough about Free Peach Alley. God knows where I'm going with that joke. Not only is he using clickbait, old Piers, he has the gall to use the ad hominem attack on Don Lemon by calling him a bit of a dick, actually. I've never heard that. Somebody being called a dick saying that's ad hominem. Just because I'm a dick doesn't mean I'm wrong. All right. I think I'm done with today's video. If you've enjoyed any part of the video, give the video a like. Hype it! Hit the hype button. God knows what that does. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Follow me on X and on Instagram to know when I bring out a new video. And join my Patreon if you want some access to some exclusive videos. And you want to help out with the channel a little more. All right, we're done here. I'll see you in the next one.
I understand that, but you're trespassing. You're threatening me with a weapon, climbing a wall.
Shit.
Yeah, I have you.
Anybody.
I have you on camera, and I have you.
I'm not threatening you. I'm going to go over and cut that.
Is this your plant? Is this your property? No, it's not. It would be against the law for you to climb that wall and to cut these plants.
I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to have to blow up the goddamn place.
Okay, now you're threatening to blow up the goddamn place? I'm calling the cops, Diane.
You goddamn bastard son of a bitches.
You too, Diane. Have a good day.